Have you ever wondered what's really going on in the hidden corners of our global financial system? Yeah, I'm talking about a world of shadow finance, a place where criminals make billions of dollars from illegal activities look totally legit. Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain, and we're not just going to look at the crime. We're going to meet the people on the front lines, the ones who are fighting back. All right, let's get into it. It really all boils down to one big question. With all the banks, all the regulations, all the technology we have, how on earth do criminals manage to hide billions of dollars right out in the open? Well, the answer is actually kind of shocking in its simplicity. It's a tool that's perfectly legal and incredibly powerful. And that tool brings us right into our first topic, the world of shell companies. You can think of these as the #1 weapon of choice for pretty much every major financial crime you've ever read about. So what exactly is a shell company? Just imagine a business that has a name, it has a bank account, it's officially registered, but that's it. There's no office, no employees, no actual business going on. It only exists on a piece of paper. The name really says it all. It's just an empty shell. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. A shell company on its own isn't actually illegal. Not at all. They have legitimate uses, like holding assets during a merger or things like that. The real problem, the danger, is that their entire structure is built to hide who actually owns and controls them. And that secrecy, that's a criminal's best friend. And believe me, we're not talking about small-time stuff here. Just look at these huge, high-profile scandals. You had the Panama Papers, which just blew the doors wide open on how the super-rich hide their money. Then there was the Danske Bank scandal, a mind-boggling $230 billion laundered through a whole network of these paper companies. And of course, the 1MDB scandal, with billions stolen from a government fund. The key takeaway here is that these aren't just a minor loophole. They're the engine of global financial crime. Okay, so we know what they're using. But the big question is how. How do they actually do it? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the actual money laundering playbook, and see how a simple shell company becomes part of a massive criminal web. So the main technique they use is something called layering, and the concept is actually pretty simple. Step 1, you take the dirty money and put it into a shell company's bank account. Step 2, you just start bouncing that money all over the place. You send it from shell company A to shell company B in another country, which then sends it to shell company C, and on and on. Every single transaction adds another layer of confusion. Pretty soon, the trail is so twisted and complex that it's almost impossible for anyone to trace that money back to where it came from. And the ways they do this? Oh man, they get creative. They'll create a bunch of fake invoices for services that never happened, just to make payments look legit. There's a tactic called round-tripping, where they literally buy and sell the same thing back and forth between shell companies to create a fake paper trail of business. They'll also sink the money into super expensive real estate, or even use these loan-back schemes where they lend their own dirty money to a real business, which then pays it back as clean income. So, yeah. It sounds pretty bad, right? It sounds like this giant, unstoppable system of shadow finance. But it's not. The truth is, there is a huge, dedicated, global team of people fighting back against this stuff every single day. And this is where the whole story pivots. We're going to move out of the shadows and into the light, because now we're going to talk about the professionals who are dedicated to stopping all this. This is the world of anti-money laundering. And the scale of this fight is absolutely massive. Just to give you an idea, a single leading company in this field can have over 7,000 employees. That's a small army of people whose entire job is to untangle these incredibly complex financial messes. And this isn't just happening in one country, of course. It's a global operation. A firm like that might have teams in 19 different countries. Because financial crime doesn't care about borders, so neither can the people who are fighting it. So yeah, welcome to the world of AML, or anti-money laundering. It is a huge global industry that uses cutting-edge tech, and its one and only mission is to shut down the very schemes we just talked about, to stop criminals, full stop, from making their dirty money look clean. Now, here's what's really interesting. This world, this fight, might be a lot closer and more accessible than you realize, because this isn't just a story about crime and finance. For some of you, this could actually be a story about your next career. You're probably thinking you need a degree in finance or accounting or law to even get your foot in the door, right? Well, that's the surprising part. You don't. The minimum requirement to become an AML analyst is just a bachelor's degree in any subject. Seriously, they're not looking for a specific major. They're looking for a specific type of person. So what kind of person is that? Well, they need people with strong writing skills, people who can take a ton of complicated information and write a clear, simple summary. They need sharp analytical and problem-solving skills to connect the dots and spot the red flags. You've got to be a quick learner, be comfortable with basic tech like Excel, and be a really good communicator. It's truly more about how you think than what you studied in college. Okay, so let's say that sounds like you. You've got those skills, you apply, and you land an interview. What are they going to ask you? Well, they're going to want to see how you apply that brain of yours to a real-world problem. And you will almost certainly get a question that sounds like this. What would you do if you spot a suspicious transaction? Now, listen, they're not expecting you to solve a billion-dollar case right there in the interview. What they're really testing is your thought process and whether you understand procedure. And this is the kind of answer that nails it. You're not trying to be a hero, you're showing you know the protocol. You'd escalate it to a compliance officer, you document every single detail, and you'd make sure it gets reviewed properly for a potential suspicious activity report, or SAR. An answer like that shows you're careful, you're by the book, and you're reliable. That's what they want. So what does that whole journey look like? It's pretty straightforward, really. It starts with your application, then a screening call. After that, you'll probably do an assessment to test those analytical skills we talked about. Then come the interviews. If everyone agrees it's a good fit, you get an offer, and then they put you through a whole onboarding and training process to get you ready. And here's maybe the most important part. This isn't just about getting a job, it's about building a real career. In this industry, it's super common for companies to promote from within. We're talking 80% of managers starting out in entry-level roles. They really invest in their people, which means you can start as an analyst and truly grow and define your own success story. So there you have it. We've gone from the dark, complicated world of shell companies and shadow finance, all the way to a potential career on the front lines of fighting it. The bad guys will keep evolving, their schemes will get more complex, and the technology will keep changing. The fight is never going to stop. The only real question left is, are you ready to evolve with it?